Yeah, let's talk about Damien Martinez because I'm sure that you're perplexed I didn't have him in.
I am a little perplexed because, Joe, I got to be honest with you. Damien Martinez was Oregon State offensively last year. A lot like Ollie Gordon. Joe, here's what I remember, okay? I remember, when you and I talked about Oregon State versus Utah, okay? And I bet the house on Oregon State. It wasn't DJU that won them that football game. It's Damien Martinez, right? I remember when Oregon State played Washington, and we were deep into that game. DJU couldn't complete a pass. It was Damien Martinez that brought them back in that game. Joe, we've seen him be the game changer for a team and put a team on his back. I get the whole, maybe he's not, the fastest, the biggest, the strongest, but I know that he carried a team and he's a load to bring down. I don't even look at it statistically. I don't even look at him because I know what my eyes were telling me when he had, and I'm going to be honest, a below average offensive schematics around him because of how limited they had to be with the quarterback in DJU last year. That's why I'm not really betting the house on Florida State at the current moment. I just think that he has got to be out there in the top 3 for me, mainly due to the fact I think he's going to go to a school. Miami, I think that if he goes there, watch out. He's going to go to a school that's got a better offensive line, better system. It's going to show and open people's eyes to him. I don't think that the system that he was in, because of the quarterback play, is going to be was conducive to him last year. Because Joe, if he got in the backfield with Cam Ward, then what?
Oh yeah, absolutely. His production is, he's going to. I don't think it's going to skyrocket. I don't think it's going to. I said he could be a 1,500-yard back. I think that's on the table. But I don't mean to. I'll let you finish.
Okay, go ahead. No, I'm done. Go ahead.
All I was going to say, and the reason why he's 6 for me, out of any of these guys, he had the best offensive line out of any of these guys that we're talking about last year. Taliesin Fuaga is about to be a top 15 pick, and the left tackle that they have, I'm completely blanking on his name, is also going to be a top 50 pick in next year's draft. They've got a really good offensive line. I look at the fact that Devin Neal didn't really have anybody blocking for him. I look at the fact that Quinshon Judkins, Ole Miss's offensive line, was shit last year. Ollie Gordon, nobody blocking for him. I think that we can make arguments for all the guys on both of our lists that didn't have much offensive line support.
Okay,
but Damien Martinez got a ton of it, and he didn't exactly trailblaze. He's a great back. He's a great back. And I need to be clear here. He's a great back. But I'm not exactly blown away with the production based on the offensive line that he had protecting it.
I understand what you're saying, but the reason I brought up Cam Ward versus Miami's offensive line was because I do agree with you on Oregon State. DJU was so limited at times last year that he had to put – Joe, there were times on 3rd and 7 that they knew that they had to run the football because DJ could not complete a pass. They would stack the box. How many times is he going to see one high safety wherever he goes? He's not going to see a crowded box like he used to.
Fair.
Okay, so I do think that he was playing, but even though he had a really decent offensive line, it doesn't matter how good his O-line is if they're stacking the box like most teams did versus Oregon State. I look at Damien Martinez, Joe. He rushed for 1,185 yards. He did catch the ball a little bit. They didn't really throw it to him out of the backfield. He had 9 touchdowns. Okay. I am going to blame this more on DJU from a production standpoint than I am Damien Martinez, because I look at that kid and say, listen, which is ironic. Both years he ran for 6.1 yards per carry, which is kind of Mr. Consistent there. But I don't trust in DJU. Never have. I think there's a reason that DJU's not at Michigan State with his old coach and Jonathan Smith. I don't think the kid was good enough. And I think Florida State's about to find that out very quickly. I put his not production up there with most because of DJU. O-line, fantastic, whatever. But when you're in a stack box, Joe, you can go through PFF. I looked this up today. Guess what running back of all the 5 that I have had more players in the box than any others?
Was it Martinez?
It was Martinez. So where most guys had a 4, 5, 6-man box, he in majority, this is per PFF, 7.25 players in the box when against Oregon State last year. That is absurd.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. Bet online, where the game starts.